Microphone check 1 2 1 2. I like to project.
Yeah, I guess.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Okay. Hello, Augusta, Georgia. It's me, now known as Mr. World Famous. But back then in 1985, when I first started breakdancing, my b-boy years, I was known as B-Boy Cool was the last one. Actually, I started off at what was my break name when I first started off? I was boom, cut, pause. What's up, Augusta, Georgia? In the world, everybody who's watching this, I am Mr. World Famous, but back then I was known as B-Boy Cool, Boogie Boy Cool, way back in 1985. Let's take it from the beginning. Shouts out to Juice Man. There's information you want to bring back what's going on. Want to inform everybody now what's going on with the B-Boy. Well, want to inform everybody what's going on. Shouts out to Juice Man, wanting to find out the history of the breakdancing right here in Augusta, Georgia. And I'm going to share with y'all my history of what I went through, what I experienced, and what I've done here in Augusta, Georgia as a B-Boy Cool in this case. Let's take it back to the beginning. Well, I wasn't necessarily born and raised in Augusta, Georgia. I was an Army brat, so we kind of traveled around, but we kind of settled here in Augusta, Georgia in 1983. I consider myself an outsider for the most part, but I've always been into music. I used to love to dance, so of course, whatever dance needed to be done, I was doing it. One of my favorite artists at that time was Michael Jackson, so the only move I really had down was the moonwalk, so shouts out to Michael Jackson, R.I.P. From there, basically, I was introduced to breakdancing. It wasn't the first thing I was introduced to. First, rapping started to get big, so I became a rapper in so many words. I was a local rapper, that is. But I had more of the flavor of the Fresh Prince kind of thing. I wasn't gangster. That was never my style. At the same time, DJing was popular at that point in time during the 80s and stuff, so I became a DJ and stuff. My inspiration to that was actually DJ Jazzy Jeff. Shouts out to Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. I wanted to be the Fresh Prince as a rapper and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Well, there's a lot of competition in the DJ and the rapping world at that point in time, but it was one thing I was able to fall back on that was kind of something I was doing a long time, which was dancing. So when breakdancing came out, believe it or not, I was always a tall, slim kind of guy. So it wasn't always easy for me to get into that realm. I started popping and stuff, you know, I was doing the wave and everything and popping and locking. Y'all see some of that a little bit later. And I was easier doing that as part of dancing, but the most competitive thing, being a competitive person, was breakdancing. So I decided to work on some moves. I was able to, I would say, capitalize on a few moves. The freestyle was my favorite move. I'm doing a freestyle. I don't know what they call it nowadays. Back then we called it a freestyle. So the freestyle was my best move. And being long and lanky the way I did, I took up the whole floor and I was flailing everywhere doing the spike and stuff, and that was all good. At that point in time, being an outsider, not born and raised in Augusta, I don't know a lot of people, but I basically was familiar with a lot of the dancers at that point in time. I lived in Green Forest off of Morgan Road, and I went to Morgan Road Middle School when I got started. But some of the dancers I knew actually was, shouts out to DJ Quetta's father. I believe his name was Don. He was a break dancer in this neighborhood across the street in Butler Manor. And he had a group of people they used to break dance with, and they basically was pretty good. They had some moves that I couldn't do, but number one, they was on the shorter side, so they moves looked a little bit better and stuff. But I had some moves that I did very well being tall and stuff, even the handstand, you know, because I was spread out, and everybody had to move when I did the handstand because my legs was all out there. I would know how to open my legs, you know, and then close them to go faster, so it was fun learning those things. So my favorite moves at that point in time was the handspin. I could only handspin like 3 times. It wasn't good at the headspin. I couldn't maintain balance for a very long time. But the freestyle, the handspin, also the swipe, that was my pretty good moves there. But at that time, Don had some pretty good moves, you know, that I couldn't beat him at. But we would go into across the street to Butler Manor and battle them. Now we had some break dancers in Green Forest also, you know, once again, at that point in time, I wasn't with any crews at that point in time. So I'm more so when I saw them, I would do my thing for the most part. But because a lot of them were break dancers, and I was popping, I was able to pop before I break dance. So I was a double threat. I can beat you off the ground, or I can beat you on the ground. And at that point in time, normally, you know, the winner, you kind of destroy somebody's reputation in a way. And if you wanted to, we can take their name. And there was only one battle that I did that I wanted to name, and that was Breakmaster. Don't know where he is, what he's doing, but he was called the Breakmaster. I wasn't the best break dancer, but I wanted that name. I was B-Boy Cool at the time. And actually, believe it or not, before that, I was Chacho. Chacho because that was my popping name, you know. I went to Kid Swift because, you know, my moves are so swift in so many words. So I was Kid Swift. From there, I went to Breakmaster. And from after Breakmaster, I simply went to B-Boy Cool. And the really where B-Boy Cool came from was pretty interesting in school because, once again, not being from the area and kind of being then I guess you could say I was kind of shy. Well, at least they might have thought I was. Usually when confronted for whatever reason, in general, people that basically wanted to confront me because of me being different or whatever. I had being an army brat, coming from overseas, I used to mock the British people, so I had kind of a British dialect, so I was considered an Oreo cookie, a black man sounding white. So I was kind of an outcast, and I used to get confronted on from time to time and teased, but I wouldn't argue, fuss, and fight with nobody. I was always cool. And the funny thing about it, I became popular for being cool, because people would try to provoke me to argue what the case may be, but I wouldn't. I was just always cool. So being a breakdancer, aka b-boy, I became b-boy cool, because whether I won or lose, I was always cool, b-boy cool. So that's where that name came from. And I was breakdancing from like 85 to 89 before I actually relocated to Atlanta, Georgia. But when I got to Atlanta, Georgia, they wasn't breakdancing anymore. So it kind of went out of style. And the sad part about that is, that's when I learned the windmill. The ultimate move at that time was the windmill, one of the most difficult moves, along with the 1990 doing a handstand, hand spin. I don't know what they call them now. But to me, the 1990 and the windmill was two of the most difficult moves to learn during that time. And if you could do them moves, you was bad. And I bruised up a lot of shoulders, foreheads, kneecaps from learning that windmill stuff. And I could do it with my hand. I couldn't do it with no hands, which was the ultimate. I'm 50 right now. I'm going to learn before I die. I will be busting the windmill with no hands. Y'all gonna see that, because I still breakdance. But that was basically what was my aspiration there. So when I finally learned the windmill, I figured I was a threat. It's like where I was at that point in time was out of style. So when I would come back to Augusta, Georgia from time to time, it was kind of going out of style too. The new generation was into different things. I think because NWA, gangster rap, was pretty big, so hip hop had taken over. For me, the avenues I went in, there wasn't a lot of breakdancing, more so rapping and stuff and DJing, but we still had some b-boys, some breakdancing and stuff. Now, going back, my battles, I would say, was at Morgan Road Middle School. I went to Morgan Road Middle School, and also to Hepzibah High School. We did a few battles there. But I remember we used to walk to school early in the morning, like 6:30 in the morning. We would get out, leave, go to the bus stop, because it's about 2 miles from where I lived at in Green Forest. About, 2 miles to get to the high school, or the middle school in this case. So we would walk and be a group of us, walking together, 4 or 5 of us and stuff, to get there early enough to see the battles, and also to participate in the battles before school even starts. So it was kind of sometimes dark, or not so dark, so we'd be out there in the covered area, actually breakdancing in that Calm Creek area, because we wanted to go indoors at the gym because they had that rubber floor, but for the most part, we would have the battles outside, because when you break dance inside, they may form the circle, and the teachers would come and break it up and stuff, and that wasn't always cool. And you couldn't bring no cardboard or whatever inside the actual school. There's a fellow by the name of Kasi, a friend of mine, his family friend. He lived in Farrington, Tobacco Road. We had Quail Hollow crews, we had Farrington crews, we had Butler Manor crews, Green Forest crews. Quail Hollow crews. No, what was the one on? The one on what you call it? That is Deansbridge Road. Is another subdivision before you get to Morgan Road, and that was they had crews there too. We used to go into their neighborhoods and battle them also. But Butler Manor to me was the biggest crew. As a matter of fact, that's where Deuce took off at. I used to go to the house and watch DJ Snow and do their thing. But we would battle a lot in Butler Manor. And when you walk into Butler Manor, second entrance, that first court on the right, shots out of Don again. We'd battle in that court and everything. Bring the cardboard stuff, we'd battle, or we'd go on the back street in Green Forest and do the battling whenever they came to us. So our two neighborhoods battled quite a bit and stuff. It was not too many crews, but there was one crew out of Butler Manor. To this day, I don't know where they are. And they were from New York, and they were called the Untouchables. They had a routine, which I know how to do to this day, because I bit it and I stole it. But by the time I was doing it, it was out of style. But they called it the domino. I think it was called the domino, where they had these moves, and it was, they would correspond. You see, I don't know what they call it now, but it's the domino effect. The move was the domino effect. Matter of fact, I got a video on YouTube where I was teaching the moves. I was trying to bring that back. But they had this move called the domino. Their routine was, they wasn't really break dancers, but that routine they had was called the domino. Had never seen before. No one in Augusta, Georgia, I knew was doing it, and they dominated Butler Manor, the Untouchables. Whoever know about them, get back with me if you know where they at. Them boys, they was bad. They was all the Untouchables, and they were older than us. I was middle school. They were either adults or high school students. you know, because these weren't no boys that came from New York. It was 4 of them or 5 of them, but I think they might have been young men in their 20s or once again high schools. I never saw them in a high school, but they're untouchables from New York and stuff, and they had a routine called the Domino that no one could touch. They didn't know nobody in Augusta, Georgia, me personally, who could touch their routine. They had the baddest routine. Shouts out to the Untouchables. But we'd also, once again, a lot of us in the schools, we'd actually battle in Morgan Road Middle School. But Kasi, as I was saying from Farrington, he could do the cricket. Don't know what y'all call it today, but it's when you basically hopping around like the crab, but on one hand bouncing around in a circle.
They call him Pogo the Jackhammer.
Pogo the Jackhammer, yeah. That's the Pogo the Jackhammer. He was the only one that could do it. And he dominated. When it's like you would battle him, and he would do every move everybody else doing, the freestyle, the swipe, the worm. There was quite a few moves. He didn't do the 1990, the windmill. But that cricket, we call it cricket, that pogo stick, when he bust that move, and everybody was waiting for that move, it shut the gym down. Or anybody that was, I think Don could actually do the windmill, you know, with no hands. Like you can't see what I'm grabbing, because I don't know what children are watching this, but you know, he would grab certain areas and stuff, and that was a difficult move at the time. And if you bust that move, the whole gym was shut down. The cricket, the 1990, and the windmill, with no hands though, would shut the gym down. So we would look forward to those things. We would always practice. I mean, we was looking for people who go in the stores and get them cardboard boxes from the refrigerators and stuff to practice on. We was going to abandoned houses and going in the kitchen and cutting out we call it tile. Then they call it vinyl now. Yep. Cutting that out so we can lay it out and practice on. And if you had tile, you was rich. Anybody rolled up with that tile, boy, you either had money or you found a good house, you know, because the tile was the slipperiest. It was better than cardboard. And, you know, because the cardboard we would tear it up, and it's hard to find a big piece of cardboard. But if you owned tile in the neighborhood, you was the man. And everybody would go to your house. Shouts out to Roach, Anthony Savoy, Tony Joe, and the Joes and stuff. We used to do a lot of things in the Green Forest together, not necessarily as a crew per se, even battling it ourselves at the bus stops, more so to show off, you know, to the girls, quote unquote. You know, we worked on a lot of moves. I mean, of course, we got to learn our moves from watching, you know, TV over and over again and stuff, and trying to rewind our VH cassettes, you know what I'm saying, to learn these moves over and over again, or watching, because some people would work together, crew up and stuff, usually about 2 or 3, it wasn't a whole bunch of big crews, not like New York Breakers, etc., etc. But sometimes we'd come together because we were neighborhoods. So if we had crews, it was a neighborhood crew. So if you went to Butler Manor, you took out somebody in Butler Manor, well, guess what somebody in Butler Manor gonna do? He's gonna come with his signature move and bust them in the contest to get you out of their neighborhood. So we more so had neighborhood battles at that point in time. And there was a lot of break dancers. I can't remember a lot of their names, but used to come out there too. But the Untouchables, you know, Don and Kasi with those signature moves and stuff, that was real big. Another thing we would do, in reference to my history on that, was that as the years went on, you would say, you know, as I got older and stuff, because I didn't see it a lot more often, I continued to break dance and everything, and it would amuse the young adults, because they was wondering how, you know, and it's funny, I'm 50, during that time I was in my 30s, you know, they thinking 30, oh, that old man is break dancing, like, dude, I'm 30 something, but it's funny, I guess I'm gonna start the same thing when I was in my teens, that anybody more older than 20s was old. So basically, I still do it for fun to this day. Juice Man was able to witness some of the times I did it. Now, the funny thing about it, back in the days, I used to battle for 45 minutes. Now I'm more so battle for 45 seconds. You know, I don't have the longevity, you know, to do it as I used to do it. But I still love the art. I mean, I watch it a lot nowadays, and the moves they do now make the moves we did back then fundamentals. I mean, the moves I do at that point in time were difficult, but the moves they do now, that's why I continue to watch it, because I'm impressed by the difficulty. But going back to the history of Augusta, is that definitely, I mean, we definitely was doing it here. Like I said, there was the side of town I stayed on having no car. I wasn't able to go throughout all of Augusta to see what was going on in other places, see what the crews were and what they was doing. Shouts out to everybody who was doing it during the 80s at that point in time. But in reference to Green Forest and Butler Manor, we would rival neighborhoods that would battle each other. There's a lot of individuals who would actually come together to battle each other in different, if we went to different neighborhoods. There was never no fights. I can say that about it. Never was no fights. It was always about the moves. It was always about the moves. And the more difficult the move, the better. And the signature move you can do was the better. Once again, me being able to pop and break, I was kind of a double threat, because I could start off popping and stuff and do a few fancy moves, and sometimes I didn't have to go to the floor. Because if your freestyle was weak, if your hand spin was weak, if you couldn't do a head spin more than 4 rotations, weak. See what I'm saying? Because, you know, it had that difficulty. Who was the head spin master? Who was that person? It was somebody. He might have did it 5 or 6 times, but he would spin so fast inside Morgan Road Middle School, and he would, like everybody else at that point in time, we would fall into a pose. When you fell, that was your pose. You know, we couldn't always pose or stop like they do now, you know, but back then you would spin as fast as you can, and you fall, you better play it off somehow. And we pulled that off, and it was good. Because I did the head spin for a while. That's not the reason why I'm balding, but, you know, that might be the reason. And I would get my, you know, being lanky and stuff. When I would go to my headstand and twist my legs, and then 1, 2, 3, and bam, into a pose and aching and stuff. Yeah, I was the man. You couldn't tell me nothing. Because I would try all the moves. And there were so many moves, but I used to write down my popping moves. I had 73 popping moves. That's why my greatest weapon was popping, because being long and silky, the way for me came easy. Depending on what you wore and stuff, quote unquote, made it easy for me also. The breakdancing was more so, once again, the freestyle. I tried to learn every move freestyle, and I had this little spin. I don't know what the names of these spin I would do, and I would do it until I got dizzy and fall. You know, I see the move nowadays. They don't do it very often, but it was that one time it was difficult because I would do it with no hands. And it was like a top. You know how a top, it leans and it stays center when it goes around, but it's leaning in the middle. That's how I did that move. And I couldn't see myself defying gravity, but it was a nice move. But the momentum kept me spinning that way. And that was one of my signature moves. The hand spin, kind of, sort of, because I can do it a long time. You know, I wasn't the fastest. Kasi, that do cricket, or I could do the crab too. You know, I had a slimmer stomach at that point in time. The crab, I used to do the crab. Couldn't do the cricket, tried it, didn't work. Probably vomited a couple of times, all that constant. I was doing it incorrectly, obviously. The freestyle, of course, we call it the spike or the swipe. That's another move. I'm gonna have to show y'all the moves because I mean I know them by those particular names. Of course, the worm. Now the worm I used to enjoy because I can go forward and backwards to the point to where, you know, I could of course do the worm forward, no hands, but I would try to come up to my knees and do a pose because I'd have so much momentum being so long. I can almost stand back up, you know. So I enjoyed that move. And today, when I do them at weddings or whatever, people are like, "Oh my God, this dude in this 3-piece tuxedo is doing it." I damn sure will bust it. Trust me on that. So those are my signature moves, more so the hand spin, the freestyle, the worm, because I can worm forward, backwards, and also sideways. I used to love doing that to school. The girls like to see me doing the worm. Y'all better learn the worm. The worm was a good move. The ladies like to see that for some reason. You don't know, they used to scream and do that. But the worm, what other moves I used to enjoy doing? The other moves I would do, the baby break. Don't know what they'll call it. It's basically freestyle on your knees. We call that the baby break. I enjoy doing that. So the freestyle, the baby break, the hand spin, I ain't gonna say head spin. Knee spin. I can spin on this board. See, being long and lanky got some advantages. You know, when you're long and lanky, certain moves you do, the balance is perfect. You know, you don't have a short torso. When you portion it in your length, some moves are just the weight variance. It makes you look so good and so perfect. I used to love the knee spin too. They were, spinning the foot. There were different things. I used to like to spin. And the back spin, of course. Couldn't spin very long, but once again, with them long legs and you close them tight and faster before you come to bust that pose, I was something to be reckoned with. So my thing was to learn as many moves as possible. I wasn't the best at every move outside of the freestyle. Wasn't the best at all the moves I did, but I always saw when somebody did a move, sometimes during that time, they would learn the moves, but they were sloppy. You know what I'm saying? They weren't smooth with it. Remember, I was B-boy cool, and I was Kid Swift at one point in time. So I like to make my moves smooth, and usually to the beat. It wasn't always the case, because popping, of course, is usually to the beat. But sometimes breakdance, because you need the speed for the momentum on certain moves, it wasn't always on beat. But certain moves I would do, and certain moves, you pose and you do different things and stuff. So battling was actually pretty fun. Up rocking, I think his name was Lee on Beach Street. Lee, the little short dark skinned dude. This little short moves, the little thing. I got to show you, boy. Yeah, I learned that up rock. We call it up rock. I don't know what y'all call it. But I learned how to do that up rock and stuff, and that was fun because it was quick and it was short. It wasn't the long typical moves that you would do. Do the little short one, bam, 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 spin and go down. Dive into the worm. Dude, now that was, you had to do that right because these little bones are click, clack, clack. People hear that kneecap, bam, but you have to dive into the worm because being long and lanky was good. So once again, the reference to Augusta, Georgia, because I'm getting excited now. It was definitely a scene from when I got started back in the 80s. And we did a lot of stuff at house parties. At that point in time, because as I was telling Juice Man, I wanted whatever was popular, I wanted to be it. So I went from a rapper to a DJ to a breakdancer. So when I would do house parties, I would do all three. I was the DJ, I was the MC, and I would also breakdance for the entertainment. Because basically at the house parties, they came to breakdance. That was the thing. Rapping wasn't as big as breakdancing when I was doing it. But we came and it was about that circle. When they formed that circle, everybody knew somebody about to go down. So you didn't always have a lot of room. I didn't always have a lot of room being in the house and stuff. So I couldn't do the windmill, nothing like that, which I wasn't the best at. But when I learned it with that one hand, When I put that hand in that position, everybody back up. Because they know this dude leg's about to go everywhere. He about to go everywhere. And I keep a few people standing around. But I can't see my legs are at, you know. So that was kind of fun. But definitely a lot of breakdancing in Augusta, Georgia took place at house parties. Always took place in the street, yo. I'm saying, because we put the concrete on the yard. If it was uneven, like my front yard where I learned that, we each had to do it. So some moves difficult if the terrain was uneven. So in the streets we had to do cardboard. But sometimes, you know, the battle took place. You know, we stand at the bus stop and stuff, and somebody over there popping and, you know, stealing the limelight. What's up? You know, you go over there, and all you had to do was this. That means battle. And if you didn't do it back, that means you were scared. You know what I'm saying? You bust like this stuff, and you sit there, you stare, and you wait. And when he get done, he know the move because you're gonna do your thing. So if you was at the bus stop or somewhere public and you don't want to battle nobody, don't break dance. Don't do anything that nobody would challenge you. Because somebody see you doing it, we all cool. We already know we got our reps and stuff. We chilling and stuff, having conversations, talking about girls doing that thing. But this dude over there was trying to show up from the world. What he over there doing? So you gotta peep him out first. Okay, all right, okay. His waves a little sloppy. Okay, I can get him with such and such move. Then I'm gonna eat his head, spit it out and throw it in his face. You know, I got that. So I'm over here and I'm doing my moves and stuff. Oh, he did such and such move. Okay, I'm gonna do that move too, but I'm gonna do it in slow motion. Or I'm gonna tick it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tick it, okay, or vibrate on it. I'm gonna do something. Okay, cool. Then you walk over there and you stand. As soon as you make eye contact, bam! And then when people see that, it's like, oh, they knew it was a battle. It was a battle. So in Augusta, that's how kind of sort of we did it. So we can more so, at that point in time, battle for reputation. You know, sometimes we would unite as a so-called crew in so many words because we wanted to do it together, shine together. Other than that, you know, we would go to different neighborhoods, see what they knew, because sometimes you had to go to different neighborhoods to find out what the new moves were. You know, it wasn't always being done on TV. You couldn't go on YouTube and see the newest thing in breakdancing. You had to go find what other people was breakdancing to find out some newer moves. So we used to go more so to those neighborhoods I mentioned, the Quail Hollow, the Pinnacle Place, the Farrington, because Farrington, I think, is the biggest neighborhood in Augusta, Georgia. I don't know if there's one bigger. Farrington is big as hell. But Farrington had a lot of B-boys out there and stuff, and they would come to Morgan Road Middle School, because there's other middle schools we couldn't get to them. So my legacy, I'm calling it legacy, hell, was more so at Morgan Road Middle School. We did a lot of in that covered area, and in that I call it rubber floor gym. There's a lot of breakdance performances in the gym, because we just breakdance for fun before the teacher told us to stop. You know, in so many words. Sometimes teachers would watch. But depending on, you know, the battles, because sometimes people want to, you know, go to the floor because, you know, we only have 30 minutes in PE or whatever gym, so you want to get your moves in. So we would go on the floor while they already breakdancing and get somebody and they want to get upset. So the teachers had to kind of keep it calm. But in that covered area, when everybody's out that bus, they knew somewhere, you look for the circles, or 2 or 3 circles, somebody was either breakdancing or battling for the most part. And the battles was because, number one, I see what you're doing, but I can do it better. I'm going to show you out because that girl that's looking at you, I want her to look at me. I want her to follow me around the school, and well, she could carry her books in class. So that's how that went. So, but once again, it went as far as Farrington coming with a lot of breakdancers coming to the school, Morgan Road and Butler Manor, which is bigger than Green Forest at that time, and bring breakdance to the school, and probably also Quail Hollow. I think that was on Tobacco Road. Pinnacle Place was kind of new. You know, they had bigger houses, but they were more sort of rich kids, you know what I'm saying? They didn't really do a lot of breakdancing. But other than that, that was the thing. Basically, breakdancing was good for us. Stuff. It was our way to be competitive, you know, and kind of always a safe environment. There's a lot of respect there for the most part, because usually if you lost, you know, there's a little handshake, not always, you know, they wasn't civilized. You just walk away for the most part. But other than that, you know, but it was all about at that point in time, learning the most moves, you know, and being the best at those moves, because there was a limited amount of moves we can do. People wasn't being very flexible in creating new versions of the moves. You had to watch TV, wait for a movie to come out, you know, or basically go to another neighborhood, as I said, and watch them do it. Oh, how the heck you do that? If it's from your neighborhood, you want to kind of get with them and learn and stuff, and how you make friends back in them days, bring the cardboard. If you want the one carrying the cardboard, everybody ran to where you was because you got the cardboard. So cardboard was like gold back in them days. Tile, you the man. You had some tile, boy. People knocking on your door. You know, you coming to the park? Well, you didn't have a park. You come into, what was the name of some of the street? We go to certain streets that was more so flat. But you had that tiles, you was the man. So once again, a lot of the people at that point in time were, during Augusta, Georgia, that I knew about, were more so soloists in that case. We would come together, unite to battle as neighborhoods at that point in time. There were a few crews, most likely. Like I said, the biggest crew I knew at that point in time was the Untouchables. They had this routine called the Domino, which to this day, I mean, I've seen it done in different variations in different, I think it's World of Dance, not World of Dance, that's Jennifer Lopez. There's another big show I see on the internet where I've seen the variations of what they call the domino. The Japanese use it a lot, a variation of that, and they make it look a lot better. But that's what more so how we did it back here in Augusta, Georgia. And once again, what Juice Man is doing, trust me, if it come back, y'all better have it together. I'll come in there. I don't care. I don't mind losing. But you gonna know I was there. Like they say about the fight, you gonna know you was in a battle. When I get through it, you gonna know in the battle. So I'm gonna get up, crank it and whatever, and I'm gonna take my thing and stuff and take my Benadryl, put it on my kneecap, and I'm going right back to the flow. You ain't taking me out that easy, you know what I'm saying? So if you a B-boy, you better keep it tight. You better make sure you move smooth, because B-boy crew will come back. I got my stripes on. See the stripes? Look, I even got stripes in my shoes. See the 3 stripes in there? I got stripes in my shoes, you know what I'm saying? So, and I've got my copper socks on, for the bad ankles, basketball. So that's how we gonna do this. So once again, shouts out to Juice Man. He got some things coming big. So all my B-boys out there watching this, hey, it ain't over. It ain't over. We're going to do it here in Augusta, Georgia. Y'all better pay attention to what's going on and what's about to happen here in 2019. I don't know what year y'all watching this, but 2019, Juice Man launched this project. And it's going to be fun in this city. So, number one, it's another way of battling. It's fun. If you ain't a rapper, you can dance. You got to open your mouth to dance. You know what I'm saying? Just learn a couple of moves. You got a lot of videos on YouTube you can learn. The Juice Man's going to have sessions you can learn. You know what I'm saying? You can learn this B-boy, this culture and stuff. But remember, it's a culture. Respecting and stuff. And it's some of y'all are very competitive, but understand, a better man's a better man. You just get better at what you're doing. You lose a battle, it's just a loss for that day. Do like we do. You get your cardboard box or whatever y'all use nowadays. You go back and you get back on it. That's all. Come back, make your moves better. Because some of y'all sloppy. I see some of y'all sloppy. You think just because you can do it look good, you need to film yourself, okay? Then watch what the professionals do and say, okay, I'm a little slow. Yeah, exactly. Smooth it up some. If you're serious about it, take it seriously. Because when I come for you, I'll make you look bad. I'm 50 years old, I'll make you look bad. Trust me on that. So, I don't know what else. Pause. Continuing. So once again, nowadays I'm known as Mr. World Famous and stuff, and of course I'm Mr. World Famous on all social media nowadays. Mr. World Famous on all social media. But definitely this B-boy movement that Juice Man's bringing back, I'm down with it. And I want to see a whole lot more of y'all out there doing this thing. Yo, trust me, reference to what I do and stuff, and people that I know in this community, in this town, yo, we can make it big here. We can have events here where people actually come out and pay to see these events. If you actually want to make this a passion, even a career to a certain degree, at least locally for the most part, hey, come on board. Come and watch what we do. This stuff is amazing. Trust me, it's amazing. So if you love dancing, whether you're a B-boy or not, come and see what dancers do. We don't mind. Like I said, Juice Man's gonna have the sessions. You can learn this stuff. You can learn this culture. It's something that's exciting, it's fun. There's a lot to it and stuff. Shouts out to Travis, brother Trav, with the 5 elements. There's a lot going on here in Augusta, Georgia. Y'all need to tune in to Juice Man to find out what it's all about. So once again, I am Mr. World Famous on all social media. You know how to find me, or you're going to see me anywhere with my blazers. I'm dressed down today because I want to represent the culture. Now, I ain't got my Kango, but it is what it is, okay? And on that note, I'm out. Peace, love, happiness.